I am hoping everyone has a happy New Year's. It is January 6th, 2026. So, my last video, I've talked about how we might have to wait a couple of weeks into January before we see some big movements, right? So, basically, BTC has gone up to around 94K, right? From, from December 31st, it was in the mid 85s to 83. So we basically went up like 10,000 just like that in relatively 7 days or so, right? Well, this is where what I've heard from the news is a lot of people are having like short positions between 94 and 96. And as you can see today, we actually went up to 94. Sorry, I said liquidity at 94, 95, but I meant at 94K to 96K, right? So there's a lot of short positions. So that's why I think a lot of investors are trying to keep it between 94 and 96 and not letting it allow it to go past 96. And here, this is where the big rumor of Venezuela and the rumor about 600,000 Bitcoins, right? And if someone gets a hold of this, right, what they can do is they can absolutely manipulate the market because, 600,000 BTC is about what? 60 billion, I'm at, close to $60 billion, right? So here are the two things that they can do, right? They can blow out all of the short positions, like just blast it, right? By just upping the price, and then the price goes up, and then they can sell their 600,000 BTC or whatever it is. Or either they can continue to short the stock and make money off of it by selling off BTC in order to keep it under a price to manipulate it. So that's why I said that, at this point in time, we can go down to 88,000 or we can go up past 100,000. And if BTC passes 100K, this is, what I'm thinking, right? So I'm not giving you financial advice, but I'm just telling you where we're at right now according to the news I've read. So, if it goes under 88,000, then we basically swim around 80 to 85,000 again. And then it might take another month for us to be back where we're at, and then it can continue to go up again, right? But if BTC passes 100K, then I said all I can see. But what I mean is like all I can see, right? All I can see is LTCN should be above $10. It should be, at least. And BTC should be above $7 by the end of the month. And I think that usually if it's on the rise like this and it continues to rise, then it should ride out for about 2 months, because that's what happened to Zcash, right? Zcash had a really good ride for about 2 months. It went from like $3-4 all the way up to like $40. So if it rides out for 2 months, then I can assume that if LTCN is at $10 and BCH is at $7, it can ride out to like 5 or 10x. So basically, you will see LTCN at 100 and BCHG can be at 70, right? If it rides out 10x until March. So to me, that will be like the really positive side of things. But I also want you to look at HZN, because HZN also had like a little mini kind of run from 70 cents to, let's say, I think it was like $2.50. If I'm, correct me if I'm wrong. But perhaps you might want to take a look at HZN, because HZN today actually had a volume of, I believe, around 300,000 volume. So people are accumulating HZN at under $1. So that's something that you might want to do as well too. Because I feel like once Zcash goes back down, there's going to be another fund that investors are going to put on, because they're going to do rotation, right? Like, for example, like 2 years ago, we saw GSOL and we saw FILG, right? Like FLIG, like File G. I mean, it had a big run, right? It had a huge run, and then after that, we saw other funds. I forgot which one it was, but eventually it got to Zcash. So I think after Zcash, they might choose to run up either BCHG, LCCN, or maybe even HZen, right? And if it doesn't run up on one of these threes, you don't want to miss out. So if I were you, once again, not financial advice, I might try to accumulate all three of these to where just in case if it runs, then you can add a little bit more, or you'll be content with however many shares you have. And then once it runs up, you just sell and you just hold whatever you have in profit, and then just keep an eye on any fund that is like really low, and you might want to hop on those if you want to do rotation. So this is just my analysis. Once again, I do the best to give you a realistic kind of expectation of what I think, and what I think isn't always necessarily correct, but I always try to give a very kosher estimate of what I think will happen. So let's just hope that by the end of the month, we see LTCN around $10 and BCHG around $7 or more, because I think that's when people will really try to ride out all of this stuff within that month or so. So yeah, just get ready, be excited, and I will make another video when I feel like it's appropriate. So perhaps let's say if we get up to around 105K BTC, I'll make another video in what I think will occur after that. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please like, subscribe if you want, and yeah, just share it, and have a wonderful 2026 year.